Hello everyone. Today we'll be going over this week's game plan, the top picks, the top rates, and everything that basically I am eyeing at for the current week. Let's start with the biggest of them all, NVIDIA, the one which has made headlines. Earnings coming up next week on Wednesday, and that should expect some volatility into the stock. And let's see how it performs. We have a very clear ABCD pattern on NVIDIA, which goes to here to around 250, if I'm not mistaken. Even if we zoom out in the chart, you can see a very valid trend line of all the upper highs connecting right here and then here and then probably should be somewhere around here. So that's NVIDIA and what we expect to see in it. I am expecting some retracement in this raw. So probably till here, and basically this correction should be a great buying opportunity for those of you that are eyeing a potential trade. Something that looks like it can work would be, you know, maybe 240 or 250, depending on whatever you want. The exact measurement would be ABCD pattern would be be right around here. So yeah, 245. So I would say 245 is a great level to sell the stock at if you are long on NVIDIA. And yeah, so that's the major market rate inside. Then we have Palantir. So again, as you can see, Palantir above its 200 more average, the stocks in a downtrend. So right here at last bit of support. Uh, by my personal experience, what happens is whenever a stock touches a trend line which it dealt here and then here and then the third time right here, the next time it would do so, the probability of a breakdown increases. So if the stock closes below here, expect it to go further down because it's already quite beaten up. This bit of support is quite important. So if Palantir does drop, you may expect it to come way down. Let me try to find a good fib level. Yeah, so probably at 120. And once this breaks, we have some support over here, maybe a gap fill. But ultimately, we can see the stock coming to 96.38. However, on the flip side, if the stock doesn't come that down and there isn't this much of a decline, expect the stock to have a breakout. And the breakout should definitely go at least to the 0.5 or the fib levels at 165. So for this, I would say you can either take leaps or you can do a call put auction strategy that can negate that, right? So you can buy call options for probably 140 and put options for 120. Um, Try to make sure that they expire like 3 months after this. So probably in August or even the July 17 expiries. And that should give you enough of a hedge that whichever direction they travel to, you are making a good enough profit from whichever direction they do end up going. And that profit should be enough to cover your premium that you've paid, such that the other side, which expires worthless, isn't your loss, but rather you are covering it, and overall you are in a net profit. So again reiterating, a options strategy with both call and put options. Uh, Prob expiring July 17th to August. The only way in which you don't make money is if the stock remains in the strength, right? Well, then nothing happens. But again, as far as my trading experience is concerned, if there's a breakout, it usually goes to the 0.5 fib level before facing any major resistance. And if it breaks down and basically goes below this 120 level, we can expect it to travel right here to the 0.786 Fibonacci, which would be near 100. 100 is a psychological number, as well as there's this tiny gap fill there, if you guys can check. So again, this should serve quite well for us if there is a downside, and we can probably profit a lot. Then we have XOM. So again, with China trade and everything going on, I really think ExxonMobil is looking like there's been a great breakout in this, and the stock does look like it will travel up. So again, as for Palantir, whatever I said that the stocks usually go to the 0.5 fib level, Exxon is already right around the. So this is actually a good thing because you can see there's a top index here on 9th April, and it should face resistance. So once it does face resistance, the stock should come down to 154 to anywhere between this trend line breakout. But ideally, because it is in an uptrend, I would expect this to come to the 0.382 Fibonacci level, and we can keep our stop loss around 144, and then first we can target the 0.618 and then the 0.786, which should be our ultimate target for this trade plan. So let's see how Exxon does, and whether it does follow anything that we have. So this is a great setup in my opinion, but don't try to chase it over at the top. Wait for a pullback. This is good support for the stock. But even if it does come down to here 0.236, you can buy it even from here and then expect it to go up. There's a dividend, so probably price would open below already. So that's a good thing for us since we aren't going to chase it at the top. Next up we have ETN. Now this is one of the stocks that I am fairly confident in. I'll tell you why, because there is this head and shoulders pattern may form. Now this pattern is quite structurally valid because again the left shoulder and the right shoulder are above the head, and there's a deeper pullback over here. The pullback is quite strong, so it's not a confirmed head and shoulder yet till it closes above 417 and then rallies. But this zone is actually a very valid area to buy the stock at, because 400 is a psychological number, and here the stock made a lot of wicks right here we can see it right here. There's a lot of consolidation, and this is historically a strong support area. So there are two ways that I would recommend going about from here. Either you wait for a closing above 400 and then enter, or you buy it above this support at 390 maybe, and then hope for it to rally. There is this huge gap fill area right around here. So if it does come down, don't think of the setup to fail, but rather think of it as traders wanting to fill the gap, right? Because if they are wanting to fill the gap, it will come down. And from here, it's going to find support from the 200 moving average and then eventually rally. But again, the targets are quite good for this. We can expect 450 and then 500. And yeah, that's about it. That's basically a 20% move. You can do options in this. But for options, I would recommend waiting for a close above 420. Once that happens, buy options expiring at 440 or 430 and then profit from whatever you have. Next, we have LOGI. Okay, so this stock has been making high highs and high lows quite effectively, and you can tell it's been in this pattern for quite some while. Uh, I think the high low formation is complete right around here, and we can expect it to go further high to make its high. And usually in this bullish setup, either you take a major move or you use these sub levels. And you guys know how much I love my sub levels, so I expect it to come around 115. So this is also a very good setup with a very good risk to reward ratio. Even if you buy it at the current market price, you have a solid 11% gain, and you can keep your stop loss below the 0.386 level. So, or basically below the 200 moving average. So it's a good 1:2 reward ratio. You can wait for a pull back to 100. 100 is a good psychological level, but I don't think it will come there. I think this is the reversal candle, this green thing, and it should travel from here. Then we have a health sector. So there's a very minor cup and handle being formed. Not the most good looking one, but yeah, you can take the a major move from here. It's at its all-time highs, and this area is very good support. So I would expect it to come down and then bounce from here. So the way I would trade it is I will wait for it to come to 20 and then rally. So it can easily rally um to 22 and then probably stop. So it's a good risk to reward ratio. Again, keep your stop loss below this 200 moving average. So if you are buying here, your stop would be somewhere below this area, like below a daily close of 20, and you can expect it to rally till around 22 maybe. So that's that. And then lastly, we have Vistra. So there are two levels that I'm really excited to show you guys. So this stock I would not recommend an options play in this unless you are planning on buying December options. Rather this is in a downtrend, as you can tell. Stocks been heavily broken down from its all-time highs. Uh, Around probably down, yeah, so down basically 36%. But it's making lower highs and lower lows as most stocks does, and now it might break this support level and close below it since it did. So where can it take a bounce from, right? So we have this gap fill area right here at 130. So you can tell this from this gap fill. Traders would want this to be steady, and once it does, we should expect a bounce. Another thing you can see is we have a very valid trend line, because this is the lows from here, and then it here, and then this should be it. So again, according to technical analysis, a trend line needs to be hitting at least 3 times for it to be considered valid. This should be the third time, and based on probabilities, we can expect a bounce from here. So, because these two areas are both converging at the same area, right? Because we have a gap fill and we also have a trend in support. So this should be a good level of support for the stock. As for where we can see it come back to, probably this lower high around 146. And if you're a bit risky, you can hold it till 150. So I would, if I were trading this, I would probably um, sell it here at 150, and I would keep my stop loss below the 0.786 level. So anything below it, because again, the 0.786 level should be major support. The risk reward ratio is not that great, but you can always have an validation zone above. But yeah, so that's where I should expect, or I am expecting a bounce in this stock. So that's about it. We will. I'll do follow me on Twitter, right? My handle is my handle on Twitter is sorry. And I'll be updating you guys regarding all of these setups over there. I'll also make sure to write some write-ups so that it's quite easier. And so that we both know how these trades and everything performs. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and so that I can keep on doing more of these. I am planning on also incorporating forex, so I have a few trades in gold and silver, as well as a few currency pairs like USD TFUI and Euro USD, and as well as cryptocurrency. So we won't just be doing Bitcoin and Ethereum. I will try to incorporate altcoins such as Solana, XRP. I'm currently both long in both of those, and I have a very good near setup. If I do at the time, I'll try to upload a video by that so that it's beneficial for you guys. So yeah, stay updated, stay safe, and happy trading.